So today um, we did more deep de la Riva and crucifix. I'll go over the details later, but deep de la Riva is interesting. Just how it relates to other positions. So one of the moves is going from that to it seemed like a sit-up guard sweep. Pretty sure it is. If I need to look at it, but I think it's like the exact same thing. So it's just interesting getting to that position from this position. I mean, it's very. You can go to sit-up guard from de la Riva anyway, so I don't know why I'm so surprised, but so there's that. And then in crucifix, so crucifix is when you have control of both of his arms. So you have a 2-on-1 with your arms against one of his arms, and you have a 2-on-1 with both your legs against his other arm. So you're like in a cross move. That's what it's called, a crucifix. You can also entangle his leg with one of your legs. So you trap his leg and his arm on the same side with both of your legs. I think it's very effective because if you have 2-on-1 on both limbs, plus you're on his back. There's a front one also, but regular is on the back. So, and usually you can't do 2-on-1s, like two 2-on-1s, because then it's two limbs really, but now his legs are away from you, so he can't use his legs against you. So you're like two 2-on-1s plus the other two limbs are inaccessible. So very effective there. Let's see. Oh, yeah, so it's just a matter of controlling those limbs. So with your hands, you use a Kimura grip, or you can use like an underhook. So the underhook allows you to have a free arm. So you get the underhook with one arm, and then the other arm you can go to choke. In the legs, just like I said before, with your legs, it's also possible to control his leg too. So you can get control of his arm and his leg and the other arm. And then the last leg that's free is kind of not near anything, so it's useless for him. So so it was just interesting that, so if you have control of his legs, one of his arm with your leg, then all you have to do is get control of his other arm with your hands. And if you have control of his hand, if you have 2-on-1 of his hands, then you just have to get control of his other arm with your legs. So if you have either position, you should be able to get into crucifix. Or you can look to get into crucifix anyway. So it's very flexible. You should be able to get into that position from multiple positions. Since then, we're going to go into that next week from the Kimura. So just Kimura control, and then once you have Kimura control, getting into crucifix. So it's just very interesting because of like the versatility, and also if you have one of those controls but you're not sure where to go, well, here's another option. Or if you lose. Oh, also, if you have the back, usually they try to get out of the legs first. So you might still have top control. You might still have control of his arms, but he's getting out of your legs. So in that case, you could focus on one arm and then try to get crucifix with your legs to regain control if they're escaping from back control. Yes. Or, you know, if you just want to get into crucifix and back control, there's that option. Also, if you are doing like a bow and arrow, I think that would also be able to get into crucifix from there. Just the whole idea of controlling his arms with your legs, I think, is kind of a game changer. Yeah, so today we did some more work from deep deli Riva. So that's when the deli Riva hook goes all the way across the other side. Jason gave some additional details on how to enter it from both feet on the hips. So you can push away the far leg first and then scoot your butt onto the near foot, so you're like sitting on the foot. Then, so I think yesterday I said that you should get on your inside hip, but it's actually getting on your outside hip to thread your foot through. So for example, if you are getting the hook with your left foot, you push with your right foot against his left thigh, and then you get your butt on top of his right foot. Then you can twist, so you're facing his back, you're up on your left hip, and you take that moment to shoot your leg through to hook the far side. So you can actually, it makes sense because you are hooking the far hip, so you need to be facing that direction. It actually doesn't work going the other way. Yeah, I still found it a little hard sometimes. One side was better than the other. I forgot which one was better. But so once you get the far hook, then you bring the other leg and hook the knee. So that's the starting position. So first one was this tripod sweep. So yesterday, or wait, say about that? Yeah. So yesterday we just brought the arms closer to us and the legs, and then crisscrossed and then swept. So if you're having trouble there, you can slide the knee, the hook that's behind the knee down to the ankle like a tripod sweep, and sweep them from there. Do like the same motion with the hands, the crisscrossing, and bring it toward you, but it's just a little bit more leverage by lowering the foot to the ankle. Second one was you let go of the near sleeve and grab the near lapel, and then you sweep outside. If they post, then you can switch from the near side lapel to the far side lapel and push. I'm not actually sure what that does. I think what you're doing is you're grabbing the lapel and locking your elbow. You're not actually pushing with that arm. You're just locking that. You're locking your elbow so that you're locking his posting shoulder, because you're grabbing that lapel. So you're locking that whole posting structure down. So then you can push on it without him being able to adjust to the force. I think that's what it is. Because if you just push, you can just switch the lapels and push. It doesn't actually do anything because the lapel is kind of free and there's a lot of slack in it. So I think what you gotta do is you gotta lock the shoulder. You gotta lock your elbow to take the slack out of it, and then that makes your pushing with your legs and other hand more effective. And then you just come up. Then third one was you're in the deep del Riva, and he's sort of basing. He's squatting back, so you can't sweep. Then you sit up. You get your same side arm, same side as the hook, through his knee, under his knee, and you grab the lapel. You can use your other hand to feed the lapel, and then you your hook is still behind the knee, so and then you kind of stand up or sweep. You go into him. It's sort of like changing it from del Riva into like a sit-up. It's a sit-up. It's like a sit-up sweep from that position. So your right leg was behind the knee. I think you can bring it out to the side and use that to push into him. Then the last one was a loop choke. So once you get into del Riva, if you can't do anything, you can go cross collar, and then so let's say you have the hook with your left foot, you go cross collar with your left hand, and then you use your right hand to stuff his neck, his head down, and push it under your left arm into a loop choke. You can bring your left leg up on the shoulder to exert more pressure if that's necessary. So those four. Did a private Tim after we did more crucifix. We entered from the knee wedge on the side. To the roll. So you can get a hook on the arm either by with either leg. So with the knee wedge, it's generally easier to get it with the outside foot. But if he comes up and presents like a gap, then you can use your inside foot to catch the arm. You can set the feet up before. You should set up the feet before going for the wrist ride on the other side, because once you have the wrist ride, he will probably try to roll you. You want him to roll you, but you want to have the hook first. It's a lot easier to get the hook now, then do the roll, and then get the hook. Then that's that. And then once there, then we worked on something called the assassin's choke. So it's using the lapel to choke from there. If he's avoiding that, you can do it from either side. If he's avoiding that, you can switch to an Ezekiel using the lapel. I don't know why it's a Ezekiel. It's like more like a loop, I guess. Ezekiel. I think Ezekiel and loop are the same thing, except one is from. Let's see. I think it's just where the pressure is applied, from the front or the back. But yeah, anyway, Ezekiel, and then we also did something else that I have on a video somewhere. Okay. No, I think that was it actually. That was all the chokes, and then if he tries to escape from it, you switch from the wrist ride to Kimura grip, and then you get a knee wedge. You get your knee under him again to prevent him from coming up. Yeah, so that was all the moves.